well, I'm not sure what to title this one yet, but here's a book. Kind of concerns Nostradamus. It was found in 1994 by members of the Italian National Library in Rome. It was buried in their archives somewhere. Unknown publisher. It's actually a picture book. 80 mysterious paintings. And these are being attributed to Nostradamus and called the Lost Manuscript. Now, these two Russian scientists actually went ahead and decoded it, and it's mainly concerning two keys that keep popping up. Now, apparently, as the story goes, these two keys will be given to a woman by the heavens at the start of global cataclysm. And these two keys relate to consciousness. That is to say, two major keys to unlock consciousness. And it seems our arc here is consciousness itself that will take us through this crossing. As we see, like a lot of these ancient ruins that have lasted speak of these crossings of cataclysm, and a lot of ancient myths and stories do too. We're going to examine some interesting things this book, and I'm going to use another example that is called the Voynich. I'm not sure if you've seen the Voynich. It's got it's botanical. It's very botanical. It's got a lot of diagrams like this. Now, we're going to show how this, apparently it's been decoded, but we're going to decode it ourselves here. A picture tells 1,000 words. Whatever the writing is, and I've heard some of the decodings of the writing, translations, and it's not as impressive as what is actually in the diagrams that can be filtered through. Here's some more. We're going to show how these are dealing with perspective and perception. We're going to show how it's a certain alchemy of consciousness. We're going to show what's involved in that alchemy. We're going to show how they use plants also to describe consciousness and a connection to their reality. Here we can see wormhole technology in use. What happens when you get caught in a wormhole on your travels. Very important information. We're going to show we see here a pool. We're going to show the gene pool of a specific type of people that have evolved in their own way, in their own fashion. And we're going to show how these different types of people exist out there that you don't even know about. Now, yes, we're moving beyond the eye here. We're going into the microscopic, the unseen. But anyway, so like these manuscripts that pop up, we don't know who writes them really. They say not this one is apparently done by Nostradamus. The two keys are highly relevant here, and we're going to focus on them as we can see, like, it was found in Rome, and we have obviously a Catholic Church influence. See the two keys on the coat of arms of the Catholic Church. Might be a better picture I can show you of that. Maybe not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there we have the two keys. Okay, so obviously there is some knowledge held from ancient roots, and we're going to go to Egypt. We're not going to mess around, because we know even these gypsy books, I mean, the word gypsy comes from Egypt. They spread out, they, integrated. They are responsible for a lot of important genetics, and they knew this. They knew, a lot of them knew exactly who they were. Some other images. There's another. Yeah, so these two Russian scientists went ahead and decoded it, apparently. So they got. Here's some of the images. Oh, there she goes. And, like, I found it to be. There was some interesting associations they made, but they still didn't give us the keys. Apparently they have the keys, but I don't know, maybe they're not giving it to us. But they did raise an important point, regardless, and yeah, great research. I don't know what to say. But let's see, where this stems from. Like I said, we're talking genetics, we're talking how that affects consciousness, and consciousness connection to reality. And we're touching on the mind-body problem here. Sure, we'll get a bit closer to that as well. I suppose I better show you. Okay, we'll go straight to, okay, here we go. Here we have, probably know I like to go to Tutankhamun's tomb, because there's a lot of compressed information in there. And it's good because a lot of it's not overtly Egyptian, but it's subtly Egyptian, and those key elements are still there to continue a main thread. Because all these things do continue and follow a thread in what I'm looking at. Now here we see, there should be a better picture, supposedly a Nox on a moon. Here we see her holding two rods. I'd like to read something pulled out of Numbers. In relation to this. Now here we see there's two main rods she's holding. Now, if you didn't notice, there's always these apparent mistakes, like how the eye is not meant to be looking at you like that. It's a side-on view. You shouldn't see the full eye. It has meaning. Bam, there's the first mistake you're fucking making if you're thinking that's a mistake. And it's the same with this. What you're looking at, you don't realize, but she's in an awkward crossed arm position. Now, there's a few representations of these two keys. One's the crook and the flail, and they go into a deeper meaning too. But this is very interesting. Let's take the woman out of the equation and just look at these. Consider these as two meaningful rods. Now, let me read something to you. Immediately after the incidents connected with the rebellion of Korah, Dathan and Abiram against the leadership of Moses and the priestly primacy of Aaron, it became necessary to indicate and emphasize the divine appointment of Aaron. Therefore, at the command of Yahuwah, Yahweh, Moses directs that 12 almond rods, one for each tribe with the prince's name engraved thereon, be placed within the tent of the testimony. When Moses entered the tent on the following day, he found that Aaron's rod had budded, blossomed, and borne fruit, the 3 stages of vegetable life being thus simultaneously visible. Now that's interesting. And it goes on to say, when the miraculous sign was seen by the people, they accepted it as final. Now, why would they accept it as final? It's just like, oh, okay, overnight this has got all 3 stages and signs of life on it, the rod that Aaron's name was written on. And why would that go bam? How would that speak to them? So, see, they were versed in the scriptures as well, and some more than others, like the Apostle Paul. He was like a scholar of this stuff. So, when we're reading it, we're going, oh yeah, silly Hebrews believing this stuff, but like this had deep meaning to them. I'll just finish off this. The road was kept before the testimony in a sanctuary ever after as a token of the divine will. The writer of Hebrews, probably following a later Jewish tradition, mentioned the rod as kept in the Holy of Holies within the ark. Okay, that's someone's description. Apparently, I've copied and pasted that too. But anyway, so now these keys in the hands of Anok-Sun-Amun. Now I haven't gone into this whole scene, so don't jump to any guns about the divine appointment of this character or anything. But so we see the arms crossed like this. Now when we're delivering gifts of this nature to the pharaohs, they often did bring lotuses, things like that. It has very deep meanings, even these things, simple gestures. But only in the tombs of the lesser class have I seen the crossed arms. It shows like, to the simple way of looking at it, a confusion, a confused state, a mix-up. So we can see here now genes have been mixed up as we're talking about these rods and certain ones that I'll show you where the 3 stages of fertility are on a later vid. But firstly, we just have to introduce the direction we're going with this alchemy of consciousness. If I'm getting too far off topic, I don't like to make notes or points, as one of the not mentors but guys I'm following, Kalindi, I'm hopeless with names, I shouldn't say his name, but yeah, he's shaman warrior, martial artist as well, straight out of the heart of Africa. So I trust his style. And one of the things he said was power corrupts and PowerPoint presentations corrupt absolutely. So I just want to jump into it and get it out, see what pops up. Yeah, so I'm putting out these two things as keys to consciousness, as relevant to what we've seen in the 1994 discovery. That's apparently Nostradamus. It's definitely in the vein of Nostradamus and It's just using, like, as we all see, as we transfer conscious, different veils, as it were. And yeah, there is this certain icons like you see in the Vatican, the pine cone, and all sorts of things really. I mean, this is just another thing that's being kept there regardless of who's in office. Yeah, you got to know the real deal and where it comes from. I mean, in this image that I've been showing you here, you'd be surprised how much scripture, Old Testament and New Testament, like it's all pretty much symbolically packed in here. I mean, I'll slowly unpack the information, but yeah, just as a comparison to that other book too, the Voynich, also shows a certain alchemy consciousness. I probably should talk about some points there. That's pretty important stuff too, I guess. But what to look at specifically? Alright, I'll stop the video there, and I'll do a short second video. Catch you soon.